kind of dumb advice is that? But we believed it because we were kids. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So have you ever watched a TV show when you were a little kid and then years later you watch it again as an adult and you realize just how many jokes went over your head? Yeah, that's happened to me quite a few times. Because let's just face it, even though they mean well, kids are not always the brightest crayon in the box. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about some really dumb things that I thought as a child. Now, when I was younger, we had something called a Gusher, which I'm pretty sure is still around, and it's pretty much a fruit-filled gummy. Now, I was in kindergarten when the commercial for this Gusher came out, and I remember this very vividly because you don't forget a traumatic memory. Like the time I will never forget how I went to Walt Disney World and I was scared to death of Goofy and he was like under the table and I was under the table crying and wondered why no one in my family would help me. And I was like a year old. Like this is probably my earliest memory because I was terrified. And you know, we're in a restaurant, everybody else is laughing, taking pictures. Oh, it's so cute. And meanwhile, I'm terrified. Like, wow, adults can be jerks sometimes. But anyways, so I was in kindergarten when the commercial for this Gusher came out. And the Gusher had different fruit flavors like watermelon, cherry, grape, apple, whatever. And the commercial was, whenever you ate a Gusher of that particular flavor, like if you ate a watermelon, your head would turn into this like giant watermelon. If you ate a grape, it would turn into a grape and so on. So I had never had a Gusher before. And one day I'm all happy in school, whatever, it's lunchtime, yay. So I open up my lunchbox and what has my mom packed me but Gushers? Most kids might be like, oh cool, awesome. My little 5-year-old brain was instantly horrified because I was honest to God afraid that if I would eat a Gusher, my head would turn into a giant watermelon. You know, I'm looking around, I'm like, should I do it? I don't want my classmates to think I'm a freak. And finally, you know, food wins, as it always does. And I ate the Gusher and, well, how do you guys think it turned out? Does my head look like a watermelon? I mean, I think it kind of looks like an orange because it's round, but no, my head did not turn into a watermelon, so I was just a stupid kid. Now I'm going to tell you about probably one of my most enlightening moments that I've ever had as a child. And the sad thing is, you can't even classify it as an enlightening moment because I was dead wrong and stupid. So we were driving on the highway one day and we passed by, I don't know, like a factory or something, and there was these like smokestacks, and I'm just gonna put a picture right here so you could see what I mean. Yeah, so it was that thing that we drove by. And little puffs of smoke are coming out, and all of a sudden the light bulb just goes off in my head and I turn to my mom and dad and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'm like, so that's where clouds are made from. Like, I think I'm not the only kid that ever thought that though, because I mean, it looks just like a cloud coming out. And it's like, no kid, you're stupid, it's pollution. Which is, you know, not as cool. Another crazy thing I thought as a kid, and I wasn't the only one because it was a rumor going around the classroom that like everybody believed. Somebody in the class had pink eye, and the rumor that was started was if you look at the person that had pink eye, if you like looked them in the eye, then you would catch pink eye. Like, I don't know who started that, but I definitely believed that. I was like, oh my gosh, should I make eye contact with this person? Like, please no, because I don't want pink eye. So that was a crazy rumor. Like, just what? Like, the things that kids come up with. Like, how do you even? Like, yes, you can get pink eye by looking at someone in the eye. So this next memory takes me back to an early morning. Like, I don't know if it was quite morning yet. I feel like it was still semi-dark out. And the rumor between me and my sisters was like aliens were gonna land that morning, something like that. Crazy kids and their crazy imagination, right? I don't know. Whatever. So we thought the aliens were gonna land this morning, and my oldest sister, was giving us very good advice, and she told us that when the aliens land, and apparently they were all female, all you had to do was tell the alien that they were prettier than you and you would be okay. What kind of crazy advice is that? Can you imagine a world where if you're ever in danger, all you have to do is tell that person, you're better looking than me and everything will be okay? Like you're on the street getting mugged and all you have to do is stop that person like, wait. And they turn to you and they're like, yeah, thinking you're going to say something important. And you're like, you're prettier than me. And they'd be like, oh, thanks. I'm so flattered you can have your money back. Like, what kind of dumb advice is that? But we believed it because we were kids. I also believed her when she said a hand would come out from the side of the bed. Like we had our beds against the wall. I also believed her when she said a hand would come out between the wall and the bed on every Friday the 13th. Because, you know, my sister could be nice giving us advice to save us from aliens, but she could also be mean and scare me saying there would be a hand coming out to get me on every Friday the 13th. What a jerk. But you know what? I wasn't the nicest sister either, because I remember being in elementary school and being embarrassed because she was too tall, even though she wasn't that tall. And I also didn't want to be friends with my other sister because she had a tear duct. You know a tear duct, the thing like right in the corner of your eye that everybody has? Like, I thought it was gross looking. I'm like, ew, I don't want to be your friend because it's unattractive. Like, oh, what? I was so mean. But you know what? She had it coming because she used to throw rocks at my back and chase me around the yard when we were little. And she even threw a rock over the bush and it hit me in the head. And it was like a big rock. So if you're wondering why I am the way I am, you know, mystery solved. Had a rock thrown at my head when I was little by my lovely sister. Like, but yeah, how messed up is that? I didn't want to be friends with her because she had a tear duct. But I was perfectly okay with her after she threw a giant ass rock at my head. Like, priorities here, girl. Yeah, it was okay for someone to throw a rock at your head, but it's not okay for them to have something that every person on this earth has. I don't know. Back when I was a kid, I had a security blanket, like most children do. So, I would like you to meet Genki. So Genki is called Genki because I couldn't say the word blankie when I was younger. And I also couldn't say the word hello, so I would answer the phone, yellow, yellow. You know, whatever. I like to think I started a trend because, you know, some people are like, yellow. No? Okay. Now I also had a pink one that looked very similar to this one, but for some reason I just loved the white one more. That sounds very racist, but I don't know, the pink one looked weird, so this one it was. Now instead of having an invisible friend, I had Genki. And Genki was a person just like me in my eyes. Genki could eat with me, Genki could talk with me, even bathe in the washer and dryer. But I didn't do that. I took a bath like a normal, you know, non-blanket thing. So, since Genki was a human in my eyes, it made sense that Genki should have a family of her own. But, you know, blankets can't get pregnant, so where was I going to get a baby Genki? Now, these little things right here, for some reason, in my underdeveloped child brain, yeah, these would be perfect kids for a blanket. I don't know. So, what I did was, I took my most prized possession, and I did this. Yup, That is right. I cut a giant ass hole in my favorite blanket, my blanket that I couldn't even sleep without when it was being washed. So Genki could have a family of her own. That's actually really beautiful. Like, I sacrificed so my blanket could be happy. Sorry, that's really cheesy. But yeah, so to me it wasn't a big deal because in my childlike brain, I was like, oh yeah, if I cut off a piece of this blanket so Genki could have a baby of her own, you know, it works out because Genki will just grow back that piece that I cut off. Like, that is what I thought. You want to know how it turned out? I will tell you. 20 years later, I am still sitting here waiting for that piece to grow back. And in case you're wondering whatever happened to Genki's baby, I haven't the damnedest clue. That sacrifice was clearly worth it. And we found out that Genki was a terrible mother. And that is why she gets to hide in the closet. There you have it. Those are some really dumb things I thought as a kid. Comment down below some dumb thoughts you had as a kid as well. And be sure to subscribe to my channel because at this point in time I'm only, let me math here for a second. I am only 78 subscribers away from 1,000, which is awesome. Could be more, could be less. By the time you see this video, I could already even be at 1,000 if you're watching this video like 6 months from now. But be sure to subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you. Have a good day.